Hey y'all, how are my fellow nerds and non-nerds? I love you either way. If you're a returning listener, thank you. It means the world to me and it makes a huge difference. If you are a new listener, thank you for taking the time out to check out my podcast. I hope you enjoy it. I am getting this podcast out late again, and I apologize again. Today is Saturday, and I'm going to be hopping on a flight to Colorado later. So I've been preparing for that, and it's not just like a Colorado vacation type deal. It is, my daughter has a softball tournament in Colorado, and so I have to make sure she has all of her gear, and it's just been crazy. So I am a rebel without an intro. So here we go. Again, I also want to apologize for my voice. It's just been, I mowed the lawn yesterday, so I think I've got all my allergies killing me. But you are listening to the Nerd in Texas podcast, the show that brings you useless information that could one day help you win trivia night. I am literally a nerd in Texas, and I talk about TV shows, movies, and video games with a sprinkle of comedy. I am your hostess, Chanel Fortney. With that being said, that I am in Texas. I live in a small town, it's called Leander, but it's also connected to this other town called Cedar Park. So I literally live in a town named after cedar, which is like the worst kind of allergy you can have. I mean, they even have like a thing to prepare you for cedar fever. Like, all right, everybody, it's cedar fever time. Yeah, it's crazy. There's cedar trees everywhere. I just want to do a huge shout out real quick to Kevin and Cassie for being my only Ko-fi subscribers. I love you guys. I hope you're doing okay. Also, a huge shout out to my Fortnite husband. I gave him the nickname my Fortnite husband. He's really not my husband. I call him my Fortnite husband because we have played Fortnite every single night together doing duos for months. And I've gotten to know him and his personal life. I mean, we met on Fortnite. I got to know him. I've gotten to know his son. He's gotten to know me. He's gotten to know the girls. I mean, there's times where I'm like, hey, I can't play real quick. Like, Lily's going to jump on and play with you real quick. Or Bailey's going to jump. Like, he's just, so he just knows my family. And we talk about our personal lives. We talk about all these things. Well, he sent me a Step Brothers shirt where it's Step Brothers and it says, want to go do karate in the garage? And it's when they're doing the family photo type thing and they have the Karate Kid bandana on their heads. And the joke with that is every time we get in a boat on Fortnite, I sing the Boats and Hose song yeah. He also sent me, I call it an Oregon care package, because he was talking about this cake that he made and I couldn't find the box of the cake mix anywhere in the store here. So he sent me the cake mix and the frosting, and so I made that, and then I sent him a Texas care package, and it had we talked about ketchup for some reason, and it had spicy ketchup, regular ketchup. And then his son really likes ranch, so I sent him jalapeno ranch, because that's a thing in Texas. And I sent him a few other things, but I forgot what it was. And Bailey sent him Play-Doh. She just found something random on the cashier stand and just grabbed it and was throw it in the box. So yeah. So thanks for my shirt, and thanks for all my I mean, he says he calls it fan mail because he also listens to my podcast. So yeah, it was it's an awesome shirt, and thank you. If you could subscribe, follow, leave a comment on whatever platform you might be listening to, that would be awesome. This episode is going to be a short one, but I am so excited for this topic and so excited for this to come out that I had to tell you guys. I had to touch base on it. I had to talk about it. I had to have my listeners know, and I wanted everybody know about this amazingness that I am excited about. Okay. This podcast is also brought to you by Alamo Drafthouse, the best food, drink, film. I have a feeling I got that order completely wrong. I will have links in my Koji link and my Koji page where it's I got links to gift cards, movie tickets if you guys want to go to the movies. Well, not free, obviously you got to pay for them, but movie memorabilia that as soon as I get back from Colorado, because I've been saving up for this trip, that I'm gonna buy, like, I want to get all these like movie posters that are fan art, like fan made movie posters that are so cool. They're just like so awesome. But anyways, let's get on to this topic because I'm excited. And that is the Masters of the Universe revelation. What is the Masters of the Universe? Well, He-Man. He-Man and all of his buddies. He-Man is like, okay, just a little PSA first is He-Man came out, like, it ended before I was born. So it ended in 1985. I was born in 1986. So for those of you who are like, are you even old enough to know about He-Man? Just know that I have a half brother who's 18 years older than me. And then I have two full brothers that we are each 3 years apart. So my oldest full brother is 6 years older than me. And then my other brother is 3 years older than me. So they continue to like watch He-Man, and my brothers had like the He-Man toys. And so I might have not been around to like fully watch it and like bask in the glory of it, but I still know it. So, I don't know. People like to like, you weren't even born, but oh well, I still like it. So, yeah. It's also the Masters of the Universe Revelation is being created by Kevin Smith, and part 1 will be on Netflix July 23rd. I am a huge fan of Kevin Smith. I follow Kevin Smith on all of his social media. I watched all of his shows. Yes, he is Silent Bob and Jay and Silent Bob, but I love him, and I kind of look up to him for more than that. He's the reason I started this podcast, really. I watched and listened to his podcast on YouTube and watched his shows on TV, and I was like, man, that's what I want to do. Like, I want to talk about movies. I guess the one thing that really like flipped a switch was during the pandemic, he got on there, and one of his podcasts, he was talking about a movie. I forgot what it was. And that's exactly what happened. I was like, man, I want to do that. I just want to talk about movies. And like I said, we're in the middle of a pandemic. I had all this podcast equipment because of a podcast that I tried and failed with a friend. And so I was like, why not just do it by myself? And so this is what happened. I also had I'm a movie freak. I love movies, TV shows, and I had all these times growing up where I got teased. You know, people would be like, you watch too much TV. You watch too many movies. But so that's, yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's why I have nerd in Texas, because when you're a nerd in Texas, it just doesn't work. Well, when I was growing up in Texas and being a nerd, it just didn't work. It just didn't, like, I got teased, I got picked on, I got made fun of, and now it's like the cool thing to be a nerd here in Texas. But normally when growing up, it was like, if you don't play football, or a cheerleader, you're not cool. You're not going to make it. But anyways, so let's get back on topic. The trailer was released, and OMG. Yeah, I said it like that. I said OMG. It looks so awesome, and the first thing I noticed right away is Skeletor. The voice of Skeletor is one name, one man, one legend, Mark Hamill. Now, you might know Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars world, but I love him as the Joker. I love that man as the Joker. And yes, I love Luke Skywalker. I love Star Wars, but it is the Joker for me. My best friend, my good friend Kevin, follows Mark Hamill on social media. And a couple weeks ago, he messaged me and was like, oh, I think Mark Hamill's working on like a huge project for Star Wars because he just posted this and I think it's a clue for Star Wars. And then I showed him this and he was like, oh, so that was the project he was talking about. And so It's, I mean, we're not complaining at all. Like, we are down for it. Because I don't know, he just gave me the Joker chills. I don't know if you can understand what that means, but like you hear the Joker's voice from the 90s cartoon and his cackle and his like, it just, you get the Joker chills, okay? But you also get that when you listen to him as Skeletor, and it is freaking awesome. I also watched Kevin Smith's A Closer Look about the animated series. I'll be putting the link in my podcast description of the trailer of Kevin Smith talking about it. So if you want to watch it for yourself, because I'm not really talking about everything that he talked about, just a few things, but he talks about how the show, The Masters of the Universe Revelation, will literally start where He-Man left off. And the first 10 minutes dives into intros and characters and relationships. And just in case someone hasn't seen it before, it also starts, or like, in case if you don't watch the Kevin Smith talking about it, he said it's like a better animated version of the old show, and where He-Man spiritually left off, and about halfway through the show, they turn everything. So question, how did He-Man end? Can anyone remember? So I did some research for you. With the help of YouTube, and yeah, pretty much with the help of YouTube, I was able to find the last episode of He-Man. In the last episode, The Masters of the Universe, it's called The Cold Zone, and it was released in 1985, again, before I was born, so I had to do some research. But this is how it ends. Cobra Khan appears before the Masters of the Universe and all the heroes and says, I need your help. That the internal flame has been out, and the Reptons are in great danger due to the internal flame that keeps their civilization warm mysteriously went out. And if the flame is not reunited, the Reptons will succumb to, like, permanent hibernation. They'll just be, yeah. So, entering Repton's lair, the heroes notice that Cobra Khan, who is supposed to lead them to the internal flame chamber, like, is gone. And then the heroes locate the room, and as they go to restore the flame, the Reptons appear and arrest the heroes. So they arrest He-Man, they arrest all of his buddies, and they're blaming them for the loss of the flame. And the heroes are presented to King Pythos, which I think I'm saying that right. And he's like the wise ruler of the Reptons. They are accused of putting out the flame due to the eyewitness and testimony of Cobra Khan, which led them into this trap. The villain goads the king into giving his crown to whoever restores the internal flame and finds out who put it out in the first place. So he kind of like traps the trapper, if that makes any sense. He tells people like, whoever restores the flame will become king, and then all of a sudden the Cobra Khan dude who vanished and put everybody in the trap was like, and kind of like, I don't know, in a way gets trapped. I can't explain those kind of moves in movies. Like they have plot twists, you know, like they have a thing for that, but like Game of Thrones was famous for like setting people up in traps and, you know, finding out who the spy was, or finding out who the person was that was narking on all of them. So I gotta figure out a term for that. Like I don't know how to describe it, except for like they trapped the trapper. That's all I can say. Anyways, totally like. Anyways, the villain's scheme backfires. So Cobra Khan, his whole plan backfired when he realized that the ice crystal he used to smother the flame was put out permanently as well. So what he used to, I'm sorry, I've like drank water, I've done all of that, and my voice still is just kind of like, bleh. But so what he used to put out the flame is also put out as well, and he can't use it to bring the flame back. So he's like, ugh. So the resident court jester frees He-Man and his friends and lead them back to the Eternal Flame. And He-Man uses like this large drill to drill down a layer of molten rock, which restores the Eternal Flame. And the Reptons finally discovered that Cobra Khan was the bad guy all along. And that's kind of how it ends. A lot of people, which the research I found, was very disappointed in how it ends because Skeletor doesn't even appear in the last episode. She-Ra doesn't even appear in the last episode. It's just kind of like them helping a civilization, and there really is no end. It's just kind of, yeah. So Kevin Smith talks about the revelation also refers to Teela's journey and a lot of things she finds out about herself and He-Man along the way. I don't want to give it away in case if some of y'all want to watch what Kevin Smith talks about in the YouTube where he talks about how he does it. I don't know what everyone wants to know, what they don't want to know before they watch this on Netflix on July 23rd. So I'm going to kind of like keep it at that just because I don't want to give away anything else that might be mind-blowing or whatever, because when something new comes out, a new movie, whatever the case may be, I always stick to watching just like one trailer that came out, and that's it. And that way I kind of go into the movie blind, because I feel like trailers sometimes give away too much stuff. Or I hate it when you watch a trailer and you go to the movie and nothing in the trailer was in that movie. You're like, what? Or like the only good parts in that movie were what was in the trailer. And so, yeah, you know what I mean. You get the struggle. I'm all doped up on like some allergy stuff, so I'm just kind of rambling at this point. Hey nerds, you know I love helping you out, so I'm giving you a little tidbit on if you are wanting to start a podcast. I highly suggest you start it with Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast, and let me explain. 1, it's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. But I did that for Star Wars Force Awakens. I only went in watching one trailer. Like I went to the movie. I avoided the spoilers like crazy. I avoided anything that looked like it was coming from a different trailer that I didn't see. Like it was hard. It was tough. But I challenge you to do that one time. I challenge you to, if there's a movie that you really want to see or a movie that you've heard that's coming out and the trailer comes out, stick with that one trailer and don't look any more into it. Like, just shut it off. And if you see anything on social media that has to do with it, just kind of like, don't read it. Just zoom past it. Don't look at it. It really is hard, but it kind of makes the movies that much better when you don't see all the stuff that gives everything away. So, again, I will put all the links for the trailer for the Masters in the Universe. I will leave a link for Kevin Smith's YouTube video where he talks about creating this show. I feel like Kevin Smith is the best person to create this show. He is a huge fan, just as we are. So he knows what a true fan wants. And I fully support it. Like, I fully support Kevin Smith and whatever decision he makes. He could be like, I want He-Man to fart in a corner. Go for it, dude. Like, you get it. You get me. You get it. Like, it's not like someone else coming in and trying to create He-Man who's probably, like, never seen He-Man before. And Netflix is just like, I don't care. We want a He-Man show. Watch, create it. So I believe in Kevin Smith 100%, and I know this is going to be awesome, and it's going to be a great series. And so I encourage you guys to check it out. Everything's going to be in my podcast description. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I don't like to put my personal life on my podcast, like, social medias. So if you want to check out my personal Instagram and follow me and Bailey along with our Colorado trip and her softball and all that fun stuff, my Instagram handle is Viking_Chanelli. I will have that in the description as well, and you can follow me on Instagram and, watch our little adventures in Colorado. So, with all that being said, thank you for nerding out with me, and peace out, nerds.